I'm here in a rose garden, and this garden is the second oldest garden in the Northwest. It's the largest garden in the Mountain West. This episode is going to be a little bit different because this is a reflective episode, and I'm going to tell a few stories and show some of the beautiful flowers that are here and give you a chance as you're listening and watching to contemplate your own life and to think about where things are at and just slow down a little bit. So I hope you enjoy. Growing up, my grandfather was an amazing gardener. He loved to garden, not just for food, but he also loved to garden for the beauty of the gardens. And he absolutely was a master when it came to raising roses, which is probably part of the reason I'm here today. As a little kid, I have these fond memories of going to his house. And when I was at his house, my cousins would come over and we'd all want to play, but we knew we couldn't play too wild at Grandpa's house because as soon as we started playing football, we knew that the football would somehow end up in the middle of the rose bush. Or if we were playing soccer, we knew the soccer ball would end up in the rose bushes. And if we weren't careful, the ball would get popped. And even if we were careful, we'd have to climb down in the midst of the rose bush to try and extract that ball back out. And that was always a painful experience getting scratched up. So it taught me a few things about roses. One of the things that I learned is they're absolutely gorgeous. The plants themselves are incredible to look at. But what astounds me the most about rose bushes is down below the beauty is the thorns. Look at the size of those thorns on this rose bush. I mean, they are massive. You get pricked by one of those, it doesn't feel good. It'll grab your shirt, it'll grab your clothes, it's going to start tearing whatever gets caught in them. And yet, that same bush that will rip you to shreds is producing things as beautiful and fragrant as all these flowers. I wish there was a way that I could convey the scent of these flowers to you because it's absolutely astounding. So, in your life, when was the last time you stopped to smell the roses? It may sound a little cliche, but these roses are so fragrant, and there's something about the sense of smell that's pretty astounding. The sense of smell can go in and trigger memories bypassing normal protocol that your brain and body uses. And there's theories around that, and some of the theories are that it's there in place in order to act as part of our self-defense mechanism. If we smell something amiss, it needs to trigger different systems in our body to protect us. But it also can help us relax and help us reflect on earlier and better or different times. And it helps us to be able to sense the world in a way that we would totally miss out on otherwise. So if you take time to smell the roses, what comes to your mind when you slow down? And I'm talking about in life in general. If you take time to just slow down, to relax, to meditate, what is it that comes to mind? Are you thinking about the game you watched the other night? Are you thinking about the fun you want to do next? Are you thinking about how you're failing in business? Are you thinking about how you're succeeding in business? The thoughts that come immediately to mind can be really helpful in explaining to ourselves where we're at. And then we can take some action around those thoughts to start moving us past that place that we're stuck in. So I think one of the most powerful things we can do is instead of trying to bury those thoughts, instead of trying to hide them or to dull them or to ignore them or to go out and drink some beverage like alcohol that's going to dull our abilities to think and to ponder and to reflect, encourage your body to pass you on that information so that you'll know how you can improve yourself. Years ago, one of the things that moved my business forward faster and further than anything else was taking a week off. I literally had no cell phone service. I had no internet. I had no computer, nothing like that. I was out in the middle of nowhere, and I was spending time with friends and family and just really allowing myself to completely disconnect. And giving myself that space and that time allowed me to ask myself some questions and also answer some questions that I'd been avoiding for years. And as I took that time to really decide who I was, who I wanted to be, and why my actions weren't in line with what I was wanting, it allowed me to chart a course that's completely changed my life. And as a byproduct, has changed the lives of people all around me, including my family, my friends, business associates, and it's had a positive impact on everyone. Now, if I'd told myself, which I had for years, that I was too busy and I didn't have the time and didn't have a way to take that time, I would have been stuck today in that same kind of position that I was in years before, because I wasn't taking that time to really dedicate to figuring out where life was and where it should be. So hopefully, as you've been listening today, it sparked a little bit of thought inside your own brain. And I encourage you to just take some time to think, to ponder, to ask yourself some of those deeper questions that maybe are hard to answer. And ask yourself if you're heading down the path you want to be on, and if the path you're on is going to lead you where you want to be. And then if it's not, discover where that path is going to take you. And that discovery of where that path is going to take you can really be insightful as to what you're avoiding and what you really want, and where you can end up if you take an active role in charting your own course, instead of letting yourself just flow down the path of least resistance.